What's up, guys? I'm G, and welcome to our late night podcast. And did you guys know that Arian Foster got paid at Tennessee? What you think about that?
I'm DT, and I got paid in high school. So what?
Hit me up with that intro!
Pull out the south, pull out the ride. We so high, upper echelon. Straight up, we so fucking high, upper echelon. Le Fleur, straight up. Pull out the south, pull out the ride.
Alright, guys. Well, today we're going to talk about touchy subject about how Arian Foster came out and said he got paid at Tennessee. And what do you think? How are we going to feel about this and how other NFL players are reacting to this and what the NCAA is going to do? Doubt they're going to do much. We're going to give you our 4 big games that we have of this week, and we have a top 10 QB list that we want to reveal to you. So let's get this thing started, Darius. Let's talk about what Arian Foster came out with. And also, I got paid during middle school to learn. And every time I won a spelling bee, I got $5 and an extra milk carton at lunch. So what do you think about this Arian Foster deal, DT?
Man, I don't think anybody's gonna think anything of it. Well, my initial reaction was, wow. What was his reason for saying that? What was his reasoning for that? I mean, he's Arian Foster. He's always doing things outside the box. He's always doing
Eating tofu. He ate tofu, I think, for a whole year. He went meatless.
He's meatless. He's always doing something like
Controversial.
From him, like controversial stuff like that. Posting pictures of his surgery or whatever it was, his hamstring injury. I don't know what it was.
Oh yeah, his fracture in his leg, I think.
Well, yeah, posting stuff like that on Twitter. You know what, Arian Foster pretty much told us something that we've already known for I don't know how long. Since Reggie Bush came out, everybody knows what's going on in college football. The top athletes get paid. Top 100 prospects, they get paid. To go to school and stuff like that. We've been on this since Eric Dickerson back at SMU.
Oh yes, that big old death sentence that happened at SMU, man, that was probably the worst punishment you can ever give to a school. But remind people. Some people don't really know about that SMU thing, but what really happened there, DT, to tell the listeners?
They pretty much paid. They pretty much paid all the top college football prospects from Texas. They pretty much paid them to come to SMU. I believe Eric Dickerson was about to go to A&M, I think.
Something like that, yeah. He was about to go to another big school in Texas because at the time, right, SMU was not a big powerhouse school.
I think it was University of Texas. I think it was out of Texas and SMU. And he said, "Who's going to give me the most money?" He said that in the documentary Pony Express. It's nothing new. A lot of these college football players are getting paid these days. A lot of players in the NFL, they've gotten paid. Arian Foster just happened to be
one of them. One of them just also happens to be another one that just got paid. It's just a matter of time where, put it this way. I feel like everybody knows that college players are getting paid except for the NCAA. I feel like they're just either that stupid or they're just, I don't know what the NCAA really, what they're trying to do. I really have no problem with them getting paid. Do you?
I have no problem whatsoever. The NCAA is making I don't know how much money off of these players. I believe the players should be getting paid. A lot of people will say, well, they're getting full ride scholarship. Dude, they're making these schools millions on top of millions of dollars. Look at the University of Texas. They got over $100 million to spend.
They're a multi-billion dollar. That's a multi-billion dollar university, DT.
You got the Longhorn Network. Come on now, dude.
Notre Dame has its own thing on what's it on NBC or CBS? Which one was it? I messed it up last time.
NBC.
Yeah, they have. I think they signed for them for about 10 years. Is it or a very long time?
Probably so. It's ridiculous. You got head coaches making more money. You got college football head coaches making more money than NFL coaches.
Oh, Nick Saban got $9 million in the bank right now.
That's ridiculous. And the players are getting what? Nothing.
Well, allegedly not getting nothing.
Yeah,
let's just
get nothing. But
we're gonna keep everything allegedly.
Even if it's just even Steve Spurrier said on College Football Live he believed the players should get paid a little something.
It's like most of the big coaches, like, they really don't have a problem with it, because put it this way, I mean, Terrell Pryor put it in this sense. I see a lot of my jerseys, not the jerseys that say the number 2, not necessarily his jersey. They don't really say his name on the back. But the fact that
we all know who it is.
We all know who it is, obviously. Like everybody's wearing an A&M number 2 jersey. What other player that you can name that's ever played at A&M that wore the number 2? Like, to be honest. And then they make the jersey within the year Johnny Manziel wins the Heisman. Come on now. We all know who it is. It's Johnny
And
Football.
Also, you look at NCAA, the little football game. I mean, come on now. They're using players they're using players' likeness, using their same numbers, stuff like that. These guys should be making money off of that.
And actually, ironically, DT, you bring up a good point. NCAA 14 is the last game that they're actually suing EA Sports is now. NCAA is suing them, and they will not re-sign with them to give them the next NCAA 15 because of that situation. Because too many players have came out that they wish they need to be paid to be on the game, even though it says QB number 2 has the same height, same weight as Johnny Manziel. It just doesn't say his name, but you could download the rosters and you can still get the name. But that's actually
Exactly.
and then it's also this. Speaking of NCAA, how much of a hypocrite they are. Let's bring up another game Terrell Pryor was in, the Sugar Bowl. He was DeVere Posey, and was it Mike Adams and the DM that got the winning picks, the help seal the game and help them get the pick 6. I forgot his name. They were all supposed to be suspended for that game because of that tattoo situation, for selling memorabilia and getting money and all that. But ESPN and the NCAA said they will not suspend them for the Sugar Bowl because they feel like their ratings will drop and they won't revenue money about that. I mean, like,
money. That's all it is.
I mean, nobody really has a problem with them getting paid except the NCAA. It's like one group of people out of millions in America that has a problem with it. I mean, I understand the people saying they get free, like they get a scholarship, they get a dorm room, all this and that. They already get all that stuff. I'm like, okay, but some of these players come from a very poor background, and if they didn't get that.
On top of that, these players are the reason they are who they are.
Right?
Back in the day, I used to when I was younger coming up, I used to think, these players were getting paid. I would see like. I would see like
it was already a given, right? You would already assume that they're getting paid.
I know. Tim Tebow number 15. You play NCAA. The quarterback number 15, left-handed quarterback. He can run you over this and that. I mean, I'm assuming Tim Tebow is getting paid and stuff like that. Come to find out,
like they're not. Like I'm like, okay, that's kind of like that's kind of weird. They're getting. It's like, oh, you don't think they're getting as paid much as the NFL players, but you think they're kind of getting some money. But
I know something. I mean, I understand you get a full-ride scholarship, but dude, you're making millions and billions of dollars off of these kids.
Let's just end this conversation.
This is the biggest. No, I'm not even gonna say
that. But let's just put it. Let me just put this last thing in perspective. The last topic in perspective. If UT did not give them, I'm pretty sure Vince Young got money up the butt coming.
We all know Vince Young.
Coming from Madison High School, which everybody knows. If you live in Houston, what kind of high school that is, and what kind of background he came from, he did not have money. He wasn't like a Tim Tebow's family where, they probably have enough money where he don't got to get paid. But what Tim Tebow brings to Florida, he obviously does need to get paid. But if Vince Young probably was not offered the scholarship, he was not really just offered a scholarship and they did not pay him anything, Mac Brown would have been fired. Because what Vince Young did for Mac Brown's career is pretty much why Mac Brown's still there. To be honest.
Exactly.
Because he's probably the second most prolific quarterback that's ever been in the BCS era. And the most memorable play of all BCS bowls ever is his drive at the Rose Bowl. And you're telling me, and if anybody says to me that, they believe that he didn't get paid, I highly doubt that he didn't get paid after that game. Or
No, the only people that are gonna be mad at Arian Foster, it's Tennessee, Philip Farmer, and whoever was on the coaching staff or associated with Tennessee at the time. I mean, this is not really a big topic of conversation. Everybody knows, this stuff goes on. Everybody knows this stuff went on and it's still going on.
yeah, it's no surprise.
It's not really breaking news. Tennessee's the biggest loser out of this.
Yeah, with all the players and coaches that are still there from when Arian Foster played there. Yeah, amazing. NCAA can't do nothing about it. I mean, I'd like to see the NCAA or middle school NCAA or whatever the hell they're called to try to get me from stealing my cartons of milk under the table at lunch for winning the spelling bee for Billy Baines Middle School. But I actually didn't win a spelling bee. I just made that up. But
you went to Baines? Oh, man.
Well, I went to Lako also, but that's besides the point. Now we're gonna talk about the top 4 games we have this week. Remember, guys, you can send in a message via Facebook or Twitter if you want to tell us who do you have winning in the games. Remember, you get a point for every game you call correctly, and you get an extra 3 points if you give us a correct score of that game. But you don't lose points if you don't get the score right. Don't worry, you gain points, you never lose points. So far, the leaderboards, only me and Darius are playing, but remember, you can win a $50 gift card to anything you want to go. Darius says he's going to go to Denny's. Come on, Darius, you're being cheap. You can go somewhere nice. If I have $50, you know what I'll do? Gas.
Breakfast. No. Gas.
I need that. But that's besides the point. The leaderboards are, I'm ahead. I am undefeated so far. I'm 4-0, and Darius is 3-1 right behind me. But don't worry, we actually have, David is actually joined us now. He's no more a special guest. He's actually our other partner at this podcast, and we changed our podcast. We're not the G and DT show. We are Real Football Talk Podcast. But
real.
Yeah, this is gonna be real now. We threw away the script. We don't have papers no more. Well, I do, because just in case the Migra comes after me.
Don't give yourself away.
But let's go into the top 4 games. The top 4 game slates this week is Chicago versus Pittsburgh. This is not a home or away game. This is in England. Wonderful.
I didn't know that in England. Wow. I still think Chicago wins this game. When it rains in Pittsburgh, well, like they said, when it rains it pours, it's pouring down in Pittsburgh right now.
I believe they're going to have a jolly good time there in England, and I'm going to use my English voice to call this game.
They can't score touchdowns. They can't score points. I thought, they would have a sense of urgency against the Bengals last week, prime time on Monday Night Football. Head coach Mike Tomlin, leading that team. I figured they would, have a sense of urgency and go out there and make plays. Defense played all right, but they didn't win. They didn't score.
But we're not going to talk about this game. Let's go to the other 3 games first, and then we're going to go back to the Chicago game. Actually, that's probably the big game of the slate. We'll probably talk about that last, but since you already got ahead of it, we'll talk about that first. We got Indianapolis versus San Francisco, and we're going to talk about how Trent Richardson, how do you think he's going to do this game? We got Atlanta versus Miami at Miami, and we got Arizona against Nowlands and who dat nation. Let's go back to it. Chicago versus Pittsburgh in jolly old England, where they like to sip a cup of tea and do all that, drive on the wrong side of the road and all that crazy stuff. All right, Darius, you were touching about how Pittsburgh can't score a point, I think, this whole year.
Yeah, they're not going to score. They can't score points, and they're not going to score points against the Bears defense, who likes taking the ball away and, hitting the quarterback, getting after the quarterback. I mean, Julius Peppers, he's a beast. We know what he can do. This Steelers offensive line always has been and still is questionable to me. First of all, Ben Roethlisberger's not going to have time to throw the ball. And even when he does, who's he going to throw it to? Antonio Brown? I mean, that's your only playmaker on offense right now.
And
no run game. What's up? No run game, no pass game, nothing.
No offensive line. What, you just got a quarterback that's mobile enough to make a play. That he has no receivers to make plays.
Yeah. I mean, last week I seen him break I seen him break out of 3 different sacks.
And then still get sacked.
Still get sacked. I mean,
but
that's the one I throw the ball to. Antonio Brown.
Let me ask you a question. All right, Tennessee's defense, Cincinnati's defense, Chicago's defense. List them from worst to best one. Which defense is the best out of all those?
Yeah. I think I'm gonna have to go with Chicago.
Chicago's the best defense.
You got Henry Melton. You got Henry Melton.
Julius Thomas. I mean, not Julius Thomas. Julius Peppers. You got Peanut Tillman. You got Tim Jennings, who just all of a sudden has a pick six almost every game I see him in. Major Wright, and then don't forget about Chris Contenay. I like to put him in there because he's actually very underrated. The other, that's a very good Bears defense. I mean, Brian Urlacher's not there, but guess what? Lance Brooks is there, and Darius. I've always liked this middle linebacker, even while he played at Florida.
John Bostic, second round pick, like I predicted him.
Very great player. He always made plays there at Florida, but that's besides the point. How do you have winning this game? I think we already know that question. But how much do you think they're going to win by?
I think it's going to be another defense. The Pittsburgh Steelers, they can play them some defense. And, they're going to be in front of an England crowd. They want to show England how defense is played. It's supposed to be. You know what? I think it's going to be a close game. I'm going to take, they scored 9 points the first week against Tennessee. Scored 10 points against the Bengals. I'm going to take Pittsburgh. I think they're going to score 3 more points than they did last week. I'm going to give Pittsburgh 13 against the Bears. We're going to score 16. Brandon Marshall catches 10 passes.
Brandon Marshall was questionable coming into this game. He has an injury.
It don't matter. He's a beast.
Right. Don't matter if he plays at 50%. He's still. But that is going to be a good matchup against Ike Taylor, I think. But I think Brandon Marshall gets the better hand of that. And I think
is this a Sunday night game?
I think so. I believe so. I don't know how it's going to be a Sunday night game when it's in England. That's going to be kind of weird.
Yeah, but I mean, Brandon Marshall, prime time. He knows he's going to be playing prime time. And like I said in the commercial, my brother's watching. My brother's watching. My brother's brother, something. Jim Brown. I have Jim Brown posted. Blah blah blah. I mean, hey, he shows up in prime time. He shows up in big time games.
I have Chicago winning this game, and I have them winning by 17 points. So it could be 17-0. It could be this and that. I don't know. I don't see.
How dare you insult this Steelers defense?
I'm gonna insult them again right now. Steelers different. Well, never mind. I don't really have nothing against the Steelers defense. I think Ben Roethlisberger makes more of the mistakes. I think there's gonna be a pick six in this game. I think he's gonna throw a pick six or a sack fumble. I think that's what I think the points are really gonna come from, not from Jay Cutler.
But what about Jay Cutler? Jay Cutler likes to throw pick sixes as well. Jay Cutler is a very questionable quarterback.
Oh, man, I forget. This is the battle of the worst 2-0 lines in the game. Man, oh, man.
Worst? Come on now, Bears. Bears actually got a pretty good offense.
Well, I like the long. The guy they drafted in the first round. It was kind of a reach, but, he's actually played up to that pick. And Jalen Mills was a very good tackle out of Louisiana Tech. They're kind of stepping up. I'm surprised they did trade Gabe Karimi. I'm surprised they did trade him for a 7th-round pick. That's like a steal for the Buccaneers. But besides the point, it's the battle of, I don't know, Jay Cutler he can either win this game by 17 points or he can lose this game by 24. I don't know. I think this is going to be a very.
I think the Bears have too much firepower. I think they're just ultimately going to score 3 more points than the Steelers. Steelers can't score. They just can't.
I know they can't score.
They're not about the stars scoring against this Bears defense on prime time. It's just not about that.
Well, I don't know if it's on prime time. I mean, I don't know New England's clock over there, but.
Well, I'm checking my listings, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be Sunday Night Football. Wow,
wonderful.
That's weird.
I wonder if they don't sell beer over there. I bet you they sell tea in the stands. Tea and crumpets for the Chicago and Pittsburgh game. I wonder how many. Every time you watch those games, how many people are wearing a different jersey that's not of a team playing there.
You know what? The fans of England just love football. You got to admire that.
I'm glad they do. I'm glad they do. I'm glad there's other people outside in the world that love American football. But let's go to the next game. We got the Colts with the Trent Richardson Colts against the San Francisco 49ers.
Those are Andrew Luck's Colts.
Actually, I have a very breaking news about this. Andrew Luck and Trent Richardson. Kind of ironic thing that came out. Mike Holmgren, before he was, what did he retire from being the Browns GM or the owner?
I don't know what it. I think he just stepped down or something.
Well, yeah, because he tore that franchise down because he was a very big Seahawk fan. But regardless, he traded every one of his picks in the 2012 draft to Indianapolis to ask them if they can get Andrew Luck for the number 1 overall pick. That leaked out today.
Well, you know that.
Well, guess what?
It wouldn't have been a bad move.
It wouldn't have been a bad move, but guess what, Browns? You lost. You don't have Andrew Luck and you don't have Trent Richardson anymore. They're on the same team. And there was.
I like to say something. I like to just say something to the Browns fans. Just hold on, guys. Hold on. Your time is coming. It may not be until another 10 or 15 years from now, but
I think it has to do with the new personnel because the personnel that's brought in, Brandon Weed and
personnel, they've been terrible for a long time. I mean, terrible.
I like the signing of what's his name? The head coach he used to be at San Diego. I never liked him as a head coach.
Or Turner, the offensive coordinator. Yeah.
I never liked him as a head coach. I liked him as an offensive coordinator. I like that move. But the head coach, I don't know who is it. The head coach there.
It's wait, where at the Browns?
Yes, at the Browns.
Chetinsky or something like that.
Rob Chetinsky.
Rob Chetinsky.
Well, I don't know really much about him. I just know North Turner is a really good offensive coach. I just think they need to get younger at quarterback, to say the least. They need now a running game. And
oh man, what are y'all doing up there?
It's just a travesty to because now it's just oh man, it's like now the Browns them in Jacksonville are just fighting to go 0-16. The Browns, the only thing you got going for you is you're lucky your division is.
They don't have anything going for them. The city of Cleveland is just cursed.
I understand you got 2 first-round picks now, but man, the second first-round pick is going to be later on in the draft. I understand now you have 2 picks. Maybe you can move up in the board, but you know what? I don't know if you can move up from 2 to 1. How big of a jump that is, but who knows? Maybe the Browns do something surprising this year. NFL, anybody could win the Super Bowl. Trust me, guys, except the Jacksonville Jaguars.
You know what? Let's not go. We're not wasting any more time on the Browns.
Too much Brown talk.
Colts versus who?
49ers. At 49ers.
I don't even think this Colts running game is going to get over 100 yards against the 49ers. 49ers just got blown out national TV and flat out embarrassed.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're going to come out swinging, and they're not going to go down. They're going to come out swinging. They're not going to stop.
Trent Richardson over and under 50 yards. Over under 50 yards.
I'm going to go over. That's if he gets over 15 carries. If he gets over 15 carries, I say he goes over 50 yards.
All right.
But he's probably going to be splitting carries with Vic Ballard, and they're probably going to be.
Vic Ballard's out for the season.
Are you kidding me?
That's why they signed him. That's why they did the big move. Vic Ballard was out this season.
Drop it for my fantasy team now.
So, obviously, San Francisco's winning. By how much do you have them winning?
I'm winning by 20 points at least.
Me and you agree on this? I have San Francisco winning by 24 points. I'm going with the under on Trent Richardson having 50 yards. I think his debut is going to be a bad debut for him because he's playing against one of the best run stoppers. But speaking of run stopping and speaking of 49ers, Aldon Smith got a DUI and may be questionable for this game, but most of these players, they get arrested for even murder and they'll play the next game. It don't matter. But I have Indianapolis losing this game by 24 points. It could be 24-0 or it could be 20, something like that. It don't matter to me. It's a 24-point game. San Francisco is going to shut down this team with the one eyebrow Colin Kaepernick. Remember, he shaved his eyebrow because he lost.
The things these people do.
Oh, man, right? For just attention. Oh, get on with it and play a dang football game, guys. Don't give a crap about your eyebrow or your tortoise. Now let's go to the next game. Atlanta versus Miami. Now, I have Miami winning this game, but close. I'm going with 6 points, but to be honest, I could flip a coin on this game. It's all about how Matt Ryan really plays, or it's more or less how Miami's defense hold against these weapons. But Ronnie White out for this game. He will not play. Yeah, Ronnie White.
That's a big loss. You know what? I think this game, This game has potential to be a very good game, a very good offensive game. I think it's going to be a shootout. I believe it's going to be a shootout. Matt Ryan versus Ryan Tannehill. And I think Mike Wallace has a nice day against this defense.
Yeah, I think he's gonna pick on these corners. I think the offensive coordinator from Miami is gonna bully these rookie corners they have at Alfred.
Mike Sherman.
Huh?
Mike Sherman, offensive coordinator. I think Sean Witherspoon out for the season?
Yeah, I think so.
A few weeks or something like
I think
that?
he's out till week 11. I think that was
Oh, man. That's a huge loss. That's the quarterback of this defense.
Very good playmaker there. But they still have Asante Samuel there, but I think they're going to line up Mike Wallace against all the other rookie corners they have there at Trufant. I know Trufant's a good player, but it's still early in the season. He's still getting used to the speed of the NFL. And let me tell you right now, the last thing you want to do...
Brian Harline's going to have a big game. I believe he's going to have a big game.
Yes. And also the Lamar Miller is probably going to have another good game. He had a great game against Indianapolis Colts, but I had Miami winning this game by 6, and I believe it's going to be a shootout, probably in the 30s. In the 30s.
Oh, yeah.
30s,
I'm gonna say 30-27.
30-27.
Miami takes this game. I say Miami's gonna take. No, you know what? The streak is over. The streak is over, Dolphins fans. Falcons beat you. Matt Ryan is gonna pull out a close one. A last minute drive.
Well, it's not at Atlanta. I would have gone with Atlanta if it was at home.
I don't care where it is. Matt Ryan is a winner. I think he's gonna pull out a close one. You know what they see? They see the Saints. I believe the Saints Saints undefeated.
The Saints are undefeated? Yeah, the Saints are undefeated right now.
I think the Falcons, I think it's going to be, I think the NFC South is going to be a close race between the Saints and the Falcons, and I believe...
It always is. It always has been so far. Since Matt Ryan and Drew Brees have been in the same...
I think Matt Ryan is going to pull out a close.
Well, speaking of the New Orleans Saints, we're going to go to Farmer Fran's humble home in New Orleans, and we're going to talk about the Arizona Cardinals versus the New Orleans Saints. I have Arizona winning this game by 3 points. It's kind of an upset, but, I think it's going to be a high-flying scoring game. I really think this game may hit the 40s on both sides. I really do think this. And it's going to be...
Whoa, against a new and improved Saints defense. 40 points.
Say May. I'm saying May.
Okay.
I'm talking about high 30s. I'm going with more likely high 30 game. If you still think that's too high, I'm still going with that.
Wait, Saints Cardinals. Patrick Peterson and Tyrann Mathieu coming back home. I think they're gonna show out.
That's what really convinced me about this game. It's the fact that 3 LSU starters on Cardinals team.
Is Kevin Mentor starting?
Yes, he is the other middle linebacker there.
Yep.
AKA Arizona is LSU West. LSU out west. That's what it is. University of LSU at West.
The Honey Badger is going to make some plays. Patrick Peterson just might score on special teams. I think this game is going to come down to whoever has the ball last, like you said.
Yeah, I think it's going to come down to a field goal drive, and I just think the Cardinals will have the ball. But
I think the Cardinals win 34-31.
Yeah, 3-point game. And also, I think Tyrann Mathieu and Kevin Mentor have a little thing about that stadium. Kind of the last time they played at that stadium, they both lost a very big game. So I think they want to prove to themselves they can win at that turf, especially at home. So that's what I liked about this game. Kind of a little understory about that, but those are our 4 picks. We don't really have an underrated game because these slate of games were kind of up in the air. But, we're going to talk about the Texans against the Ravens. That's actually a pretty good game, but Ray Rice is out for this game, and Arian Foster is getting paid from Tennessee in this game.
Oh, yeah, like $2,000, something like that.
I think they paid for his philosophy or whatever he studied over there.
Oh, yeah.
But anyways, let's talk about this game. Texans-Ravens, who do you have this game winning?
They won. They blew them out last year. I think... I believe the Texans can pull this one out if they can run the football and control, time of possession, which is what Gary Kubiak is known for. And they have to get after Joe Flacco. They can't allow Joe Flacco to stand around, and look for receivers downfield and throw bombs all day long. Because if they do that, it's going to be. I think the Ravens will run away with it. And I don't see Matt Schaub playing catch up again against, a pretty good defense, nice secondary.
Yeah, it's a pretty nice secondary that they have over there. Granted, they lose Ed Reed to the team they're playing against, but Ed Reed's not playing this game.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure Andre Johnson is starting this game.
No, he is. He's come. He said he's starting. They already said that.
Wow.
He's coming back from. He's eligible to play this game. Let's put it that way. And you know how Andre is. He's gonna always play for his team no matter what. And he's coming from a concussion and back injury. That's what he was coming back from.
The beast returns.
The ageless wonder, as you like to call him.
Ageless wonder. All he does is make plays. And you know what? DeAndre Hopkins really stepped up. I think that was really big for his confidence to show that, hey, I did it at the college level. I can do it to these corners in the NFL.
Yes,
and I believe that was a major confidence boost. You have two playmakers now on the outside. Owen Daniels, Garrett Graham.
Which technically are like the same kind of players, to be honest. I think Garrett Graham and Dwayne Brown are not playing this game.
Oh man, Dwayne Brown is. Oh my goodness.
He's hurt. He's out. I think it's game time decision, but they're looking more like as a doubtful.
I think Matt Schaub gets harassed this game. I think he throw. You know what? This is going to be a close game. But I think
if it's a close game, I'm not trusting you, Randy Bullock. I don't.
Oh. Randy Bullock just might lose his job this week, depending on how terrible he does. Depending on how he does. If he does terrible, if he misses one more field goal under 50 yards, Gary Kubiak has to find another kicker. He has to. He has to find another kicker.
And the way he kicks the ball is just I'm not gonna even look at the TV because I just don't trust it. Man, please bring back Neil Rackers. I bet he can still kick a field goal for us.
I don't know why they got rid of him. I mean, the guy made tackles. He made tackles on kickoffs. He stuck his nose there.
I'm going this with a close game because I think Terrell Suggs is gonna. I think they're gonna line him up against this. Because put it this way, it don't matter if it's Terrell Suggs or Elvis Dumerville. They're gonna work these tackles this game if Dwayne Brown's not playing.
Matt Schaub is definitely getting sacked at least. I'm gonna go. Over under 4 times.
Over under 4 times? Easy, over.
Yes, I'm saying Matt Schaub gets sacked at least 4 times. He's going to get harassed this entire game. He's not going to have much time to throw the ball downfield.
And that's why I'm agreeing with you. If they set up the run game, which they probably will go to early, because remember, guys, what was it, Tuesday or Monday did we call this? I said they're going to run 2 stretch plays to start off the game. 2 stretch plays, to the left or to the right. The third,
2 yards.
They're about 2 yards per play, maybe, if they're lucky. Or maybe they'll get a first down. But we're going with it, not going to get it. So they get 2 yards out of both of them. So now it's 3rd and 6. They're gonna run a bootleg. They're gonna do the bootleg, and Matt Schaub's gonna bootleg to the right. Garrett Graham or Owen. Well, Garrett Graham's not playing, so now Owen Daniels is gonna be the one open for this play, and he's not gonna get the first down. He'll get 5 yards, be 1 yard short. Gary Kubiak's gonna punt it. There you go. That's the first drive of the Texans, guys. And
did I just say the Texans were gonna win? You know what? I'm gonna change that.
Did I convince you?
No, I'm just thinking about the right side of this offensive line, which has been very questionable to me. I didn't think they have much of a problem, but man, this doesn't look very good. I think, you got Dumerville on one side, then you got Suggs on the other side. They're going to harass Matt Schaub all day long. Matt Schaub.
And Haloti Naga up front.
Oh, Haloti Naga right up the middle. Then you got Mount Cody, and you got another guy, Arthur Jones. This defensive line is for real. These guys are some beasts. And the secondary, they're pretty darn good. Kubiak, he's going to be conservative all game long. I don't think this defense pressures Joe Flacco. I don't trust his defense against an elite quarterback. I believe Joe Flacco's an elite quarterback. That's another argument. I think Joe Flacco's going to light this secondary up. And you know what? Texans, a question mark. All of a sudden, you become a question mark. May not even be the best team in your division.
All right, guys. Well, now that we discussed kind of the big games, and we've been through it, we're going to do some quick hits about the other games. The other kind of games that really didn't catch our eyes, but we're going to look at them. Let's go with, the Monday night game, and we're not going to talk about that, but we kind of already know who's going to win that game, even though 2 of the correspondents on this podcast like it, and the other one is the other team. But
I can't wait. You know what? We should go somewhere and watch this game.
You know what? Why don't we? We should.
Because I want to get all in your face.
Well, technically, I'm not really gonna be all in the face because you know what? I'm not. I'm the below average Raider fan, meaning I don't bring a shank to the games. That's what I mean. I don't camp out there and I have my knife with me and my gat. Not saying all Raider fans bring a gat, but let me just tell you this. A San Francisco 49er fan went to a Raiders game and he got jumped the last time in preseason. That's how we roll. But regardless, let's go to...
I think, wait, before you go to the next segment, you know what? I think the Raiders actually have a chance. If they can keep...
Get out of here. What kind of Broncos fan are you?
Look, I'm just being real. Any given Sunday, any team can be beaten. If the Raiders can win the time of possession battle, if they can keep the ball out of Peyton Manning's hands, run the football, because D-Mac has had some big games against my Broncos.
I think he's fourth in the league in rushing right now. That's pretty good, but he can get hurt. Remember, he can get hurt.
Oh yeah, he knows how to do that very well. But you know what? Jeremy McFadden's had some big games against the Broncos. You know, he's pretty much took off where LSQ left off. He's had some big games against the Broncos. If Terrell Pryor can, make a few runs here and there, steal some time, the defense can step up and make some plays, get some turnovers. Y'all can make some plays on special teams, which are more than capable. Jacoby Ford scored a touchdown.
Sebastian Janikowski.
You never know. And you know what? Broncos, they like to turn the ball over on special teams. Trenton Holiday, he's going to have to secure the ball.
He's a fingertip away from breaking his whole body, to be honest. To me, if Trenton Holiday gets smacked really hard like a solid hit, I feel like he's going to be out for the season.
One thing about him, he fumbles a lot of footballs, too.
That's why he was not on the Texans, guys. Remember that. He likes to muff a lot of punts.
Yes. A lot of people... a lot of people like to get on the Texans about, why they got rid of Trenton Holiday and Jacoby Jones. Okay, you've seen these guys when they were with the Texans. All they did was they didn't make plays. I mean, Jacoby Jones, he made plays, every now and then. You can't be inconsistent, and expect to stay on the roster.
But the thing with Jacoby Jones is he never fit in our receiving set. He fits the Ravens perfectly. He needs a quarterback that can throw the ball deep, and he's fast, and that's about it. He catches all the balls like a punt, even though he wasn't really good at it at the Texans, which is kind of ironic. But let's just not go into this Oakland-Denver game because we'll talk about that on Monday. But I think we should go out somewhere to eat. Let's go to Buffalo Wild Wings. The next day I got court. Just kidding. But let's go with the New York Giants against the Carolina Panthers. It's at Carolina. Who do you have in this game, Darius? Let's be frank.
Man, this is a tough one. I don't think Carolina hasn't won a game yet. Giants are 1-2.
1-2. They're 1-2.
I don't know what they're.
They're 1-1. Pretty sure they're 1-1.
They're 0-2. They lost to the Cowboys and the
Broncos. Oh man, never mind.
2 0-2 teams. Two winless teams. No, I'm gonna have to go with the Giants. I'm gonna have to go with the Giants. Eli Manning, Tom Coughlin, these guys have been through this before. They've been through it before.
Multiple times.
Several times. I think they pick it up. I think they realize what's going on.
The thing about the Giants, I'm sorry to interrupt. The thing about the Giants, if the beginning of the season, if this is how the New York Giants offseason goes, so Eli Manning's on the hot seat, Tom Coughlin's on the hot seat, all the running backs fumble the ball. Isn't that the Giants offseason, right? Coming into the season, doesn't that sound about right?
After the second Super Bowl, all the hot seat stuff is going away. People expect this. People talk about this and they just laugh. Like, oh yeah, they'll be in the playoffs. Matter of fact, last year they were like a win or two away from winning the division and going to the playoffs again, possibly going for a third Super Bowl. I mean, you never know with this team. They can go 0-3. It'd be like they can go 0-5 and be like the first 0-5 team to make it to the playoffs. You never know with this team. I'm not going to count them. You just can't count them out. But, I think they rebound. This is a veteran team, veteran quarterback, Hall of Fame coach. I believe they bounce back week 3 and they beat the Giants. I believe they beat them handily.
The Giants beat the Giants. All right.
The Giants beat the Panthers. Giants beat the Panthers handily.
I think Victor Cruz and Hakeem Nicks have a big game. Panthers secondary is one of the worst in the league, and they lose a safety out for the year. I believe what's his name? I think I gave you that information earlier this year.
Yeah.
Not this year, but this week. I don't know. He wears number 30, and he's probably the best DB.
Something like Godfrey or something like
Yeah,
that.
Charles Godfrey. Yeah, he's out for the season. Victor Cruz is having a very good game. I mean, Munderland, he's all right as a nickelback, but
Hunter Rivera's on the high seat, and Cam Newton, man, all these close games. I don't know. I think this is going to be this is not even going to be a good game. Giants going to rout this team. This defense has been playing pretty good for the most part in the first 2 weeks. But I think this is the time Eli Manning and Victor Cruz just blow the top off his defense.
David Wilson, I swear if you give me another negative point in my fantasy football, I literally will drive to the next New York game and I do not know what I'm going to do.
17 yards rushing, how did you get to the NFL, man? Seriously.
Easy. You run the football good in college. You look awesome. You drive an old school car. You wear a suit to every one of your practices for some reason.
Wilson should have stayed at Virginia Tech for his senior year.
Yeah, and then been a 7th round pick the next year. Okay. Let's stop talking about this. Green Bay, Cincinnati. It's at Cincinnati. Come on, let's just make this easy. Aaron Rodgers leading the league in passing.
Nope. This Cincinnati defense is actually one of the best defenses in the league. Secondary, very underrated secondary. Defensive line, they will get after you, and we all know what Geno Atkins can do. Best interior lineman in the game today.
Oh, man, yes. I love Geno Atkins.
And you know what? This offensive line for the Packers, they're not, everybody thought they were going to be terrible. They're actually holding their own out there pretty good. But
for what they have out there, yes, they're actually holding their. Because put this way, Brian Bulaga's out for quite some time. I don't know if he's out for the season, but he's out for quite some time. Bakari, the rookie, is actually holding his own for being the pick that he was. Because trust me, I mean, you can do nothing but improve for the Green Bay Packers O-line. John Sutton, I believe, Sutton is probably one of the best guards in the country. He's going to hold his own. I don't know if Geno Atkins is probably not going to go up on his side, but this Packers offensive line upgraded a bit. But I don't think
they can cover. I don't think they have a field day against the defense like they did last week against whoever they played.
49ers. I mean, not 49ers. I mean, the Redskins. I mean, Redskins were just.
Redskins.
I like. I'm gonna give it to you. I like Cincinnati's defense. This game, I'm not gonna say it's a toss-up because it could be a really close game, and Cincinnati could come out with the upset. But I like Aaron Rodgers. I like the weapons and everything he has on the field for him. Jermichael Finley stepping up and finally being the playmaker that he once was. James Jones still almost had 200 yards receiving. Jordy Nelson had 2 touchdowns, and Randall Cobb is just a beast, and he's the playmaker of this offense, really. And James Starks may have another 100-yard game. Not really. He won't. That was just a fluke. But
I think the Packers are going to take this one 30-20.
30-20.
And right, not even 30-20. I'm gonna say 24-20. Gonna be a pretty close game. I think AJ Green scores on the deep one. Giovanni Bernard, I think Giovanni Bernard is going to be my X factor. The little guy, he can make plays. Only eight touches. He scored 2 touchdowns, 1 receiving, 1 rushing. He's going to be the X factor coming out of the backfield. And AJ Green, I look for him to have a touchdown after being shut out against Pittsburgh.
Yep. Now let's go to. Now going to St. Louis at Dallas. I think this is going to be a really good game, actually. But compared to the other slates of games, I wouldn't think it lived up to it. But I actually think St. Louis is going to pull this one out. I think they're going
to. Explain that to me. Explain to me how Tavon Austin and
Granted, I get what you're saying. I just think Tony Romo makes it. I just think Tony Romo. I like the matchup at cornerback against Des Bryant, but I think Des Bryant does have a big game. This has to be the game for Des Bryant to show up. I mean, he did show up against Kansas City. Granted, they actually have a good defense, which we actually are about to touch on about the Thursday night football game, what we saw, and how me and Darius were right against our guests, and how they thought the Eagles were going to win that game handedly, and we proved to be right.
Well, you know what? Before you get to that, explain to me how.
I think Sam Bradford is finally stepping up and living to his pick. I think he makes excellent decisions.
But the playmakers on this offense.
I'm gonna go with Chris Givens. I'm gonna go with Tavon Austin and Stephen Bailey, and then I'm gonna go with.
It's Dallas. Hey, come on now, man. You got Mo Claiborne and Brandon Carr on the other side. I mean, DeMarcus Ware.
I don't know. I just feel like I just don't.
They got too many playmakers.
I know they do.
And on offense. Come on now.
I know they do. It's just.
Let's be real.
Well, you know what? I'm being real, and I'm going with the upset. St. Louis wins 24-21.
I'm going to take Dallas 34-17.
Damn it. Okay. Well, remember, guys, I'm more than prepared to swallow my words, but remember, on upset picks, I'm really good at that. I did call the Texas Tech game, but not by that many points.
I mean, TCU has no offense.
Yeah, but they have a defense. They did show up, but didn't really. But regardless, you have Dallas winning. I have St. Louis winning. Cleveland, Minnesota. Come on, Minnesota. If you don't win this game, oh my God, Christian Ponder, you
done. Maybe not done, but technically you're done.
Man, I'm no comment about this game. It's either Adrian Peterson better have a great game. Either Adrian Peterson better have 200-yard rushing this game, or I don't know. All I gotta say is Cleveland Browns. You said it. You just hold on. Cleveland Browns are a very loyal fan base. They actually are a very good, loyal fan base. But this is going to be a very terrible game for y'all.
But the Browns lose again. They get ran all over by Adrian Peterson, who the Browns actually passed up Adrian Peterson. They actually passed him up. And you know what? The last time he played them, he had a very big day against them. I think Adrian Peterson runs all over this team again. I think he's going to score at least 2 touchdowns. He's going to score at least 2 touchdowns. He's going to run all over this defense. And you know what? I think Cordero Patterson is going to give them good field position all game long. They may not even if they score. I think Cordero Patterson is going to give them good field position. Jerome Simpson is going to make a big play. Adrian Peterson is going to run all over this defense. I'm going to take the Vikings 30-13. They don't have any weapons. I'm gonna give them 13 points.
You have 13 points with no weapons. 13 points with no weapons.
Points. Yeah, I know that makes sense. But 30-10.
31-6, me, Minnesota. Tampa Bay, New England. Well, this is kind of an ugly game, to say the least. Darrelle Revis starts to play Tom Brady yet again. He's faced him since he was a Jet. And the only way Tom Brady put it this way. Darrelle Revis is going to be on the island by himself because I don't know who these receivers for the New England. I know their names, but let's be real. Tom Brady has no receivers out there. Yet again, until.
But you know what? Rob Gronkowski might be back. They say it's a 50-50. He says it's a 50-50 chance he might be back.
They said that last time about him in the Texans game. He showed up to the Texans game. Bam. Gone like.
But if he is back, how do you like their chances against Buccaneers?
I think he makes a play every once in a while. I don't think they're gonna strain him, but I don't have Buccaneers winning. I already gave you my opinion about the Buccaneers. I really don't like them this year. I think them and the Carolina Panthers are probably fighting for the worst team in that division, and either one are probably fighting for a top 10 pick. To be honest.
First of all, you have all this talk about the players not liking the coach.
Yeah, Greg Schiano about that.
I think that's very bad for a football team. But I think the players pick it up because they're just tired of losing. I think Tom Brady has his. Well, I don't see how he can play any worse. I don't see how he can have a worse game than the Bills game and the Panthers game. But I think
Jets game,
this Buccaneers secondary is gonna shut down this receiving core. Tom Brady, I don't even think he passes for 200 yards this game. But I believe they're gonna run the football very well. Stephen Ridley.
I do like this Buccaneers defense a lot. I like Levante David, even though you did make a bad play. Listen, you balled out as a rookie. I like Mason Foster from Yeah,
yes.
Millenberger. He's a very underrated player too. Like I like their defense as a whole. I mean, they have. I mean, the only problem really is like Golston. Just please don't smack the crap out of somebody else because you're just giving the NFL more money. You know, I just don't because Golston is a very good playmaker. He's always been very underrated at San Francisco until his final years there. But I like Mark Barron. I like Darrell Revis a lot. I like uh, Golston. I like Claiborne. I love McCoy on the inside. But I just like this Buccaneers defense against the Tom Brady offense. I just don't know. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are just this inside kind of locker room kind of thing. Greg Schiano, the way he is, he's pretty kind of edgy. With the way that the Cowboys game was it when they kneeled the ball and they still rushed the passer to see if they can get the ball to win the game.
I think Josh Freeman actually has a big day against the Patriots. I think he has a big day against the Patriots defense, and Tom Brady has another less than stellar day against, another NFL. I think Tom Brady just has another less than. I think he has another average game going up against one of the best secondaries in the game. Well, potential best secondaries in the game.
All right, and then let's do some quick hits. San Diego gets Tennessee. Who do you have winning this game? And a play.
San Diego, Tennessee. Tennessee just lost a close, exhausting game to the Texans. They played their hearts out on defense. I think that's as good as they're going to play on defense. They did against the Texans, and they did not manage to win that game. The Chargers, man. I think they're back. You think the Superchargers are back? Or you think the high-flying Superchargers are back?
No, I just think people finally realize what the Eagles are. The Chokers lose this game because they still don't know they don't know what a second half is. Tennessee, I like their defense a lot. It's pretty underrated. Our team after this game, Tennessee winning by 10 points. It could go either way. To be honest, I say that a lot about games, but to me, that's how the NFL is. It could go either way. Any team could win, but
you just never know anymore.
The Chokers choke this game. San Diego Chokers choke.
I think Phillip Rivers. I don't think he does. I think Phillip Rivers starts. I think Phillip Rivers goes back to preseason form, and he throws 3 interceptions. I think this Tennessee defense generates a few turnovers here and there. The Chargers don't really have much of a run game. I don't think they're gonna have a run game against Tennessee. Texans. If the Texans can't run against them, I highly doubt Tennessee can.
So Tennessee wins by how much?
I highly doubt the Chargers can run against Tennessee. If the Texans can. I think Tennessee wins this one by 10.
All right.
You're right.
All right, let's go. Let's wrap up these games first so we can talk about the Philadelphia games. Like I said, I'm going to give you the game, and then you just tell me a player who's going to make this game, who's going to help their team win, and who do you have winning. Don't really got to give me a point. Detroit, Washington. I got Detroit winning because Matthew Stafford is going to tear up this defense handily.
You're right. Detroit, Calvin Johnson, Matthew Stafford just lights up defense, puts up big numbers game in the game.
X factor for this game. Robert Griffin's knee may break again. Watch out. And Ndamukong Suh does play for those Lions, and he may just break that knee.
Shanahan, start Kirk Cousins, please.
All right.
You got. Oh man.
Divisional game. We got Buffalo at New York Jets. I like Buffalo in this game. I think EJ Manuel beats Geno Smith, even though Geno Smith maybe bring a little swag to him just because he didn't get picked in the first round and EJ Manuel did. But I just like Buffalo's offense.
I'm going to go with Geno Smith in a last minute drive, last 2 minutes of the game. I believe he's going to have a drive at the end, and he's going to show the Bills, hey, y'all should have picked me.
But how much you think? What, 3 points again? A 3-point game?
I'm gonna go with 27-20. Mario Williams doesn't have a sack, by the way. He's not gonna have 1 sack in this game.
Okay. Jacksonville Seahawks. Seahawks 56-0. Come on now.
I'm gonna go with the upset.
I'm literally about to stop the podcast right now.
You know what? I am crazy.
It's at Seahawks.
You know what? I don't want to hear it. I think Jacksonville. This is the NFL. It gets crazy these days. It's crazy. A lot of crazy things happen.
Estoy
Take the
muy
Jackson-
loco.
The Jaguars win this game. I'm being serious. They didn't win this game 16-13. Ryan Scobie is going to kick the game on the field goal, and it's going to be a long one.
My friend, you are crazy. All right. Seahawks win 56-0.
You know what? That could be a segment. My friend, you are crazy.
Yeah.
That could be a segment.
No, don't worry. That's just, yeah, you are crazy. Whatever. We like to make segments.
You know what? It starts with that. Jacksonville beats the Seahawks. And when they do, y'all will hail me as a god.
Ah, man. Don't worry, I'm not gonna rub it in your face because I'm like, dude, I'm not gonna give you shit because I'm gonna give you a lot of it for that game. Anyways, let's talk about the game that me and Darius called right. Our correspondents, Farmer Friend and Crocodile Dundee, chose the Eagles to win those games, but
You said they were going to win handily, by the way. Took a blowout.
Remember, Darius, I did bring up this point. The Eagles were the fourth worst team last year. And listen, I understand Chip Kelly. He has the personnel. He has the playmakers. He has Deshaun Jackson. He has LaShawn McCoy. You still got Michael Vick. Remember, guys, Michael Vick.
Jeremy Maclin is hurt.
Jeremy Maclin may not be an Eagle.
They're missing him right now.
Oh, they're missing him a lot. I understand Riley Cooper is a very good receiver there. Also, I mean, so is Jason Vaughn. He got sure hand. So is Brent Selleck. But let me tell you this. This Chiefs defense did exactly what me and Darius said. I mean, this Chiefs defense is for real. I'm talking about this defense could be one of the top 5 defenses with the playmakers they have there. And Eric Berry, player of the game, to be honest. Eric Berry and Alex Smith. Alex Smith was unbelievably good this game. And, man, I just...
No turnovers.
He's doing exactly what he did at San Francisco. I mean, not turning over the ball. He plays the game not to lose the game. That's what he does.
Manage the game, make smart plays. You know, trust your defense, trust your playmakers. Come out with the win.
Exactly. He's just doing it simple. Well, okay, do this pass. All right, cool. You know, if I see something I like, you know, I'm gonna take the check down before I take the gamble. I like that about him. Listen, saying somebody's a game manager is not a disgrace. That's what every quarterback does. They manage the game, whether they want to gamble about the game or not. I'm not saying bet on the game, but I'm saying taking deep shots or not. That's up to them. But I like Alex Smith, how he likes to manage the game. I like the playmakers he has there.
You know, one thing I like about him, instead of just throwing the ball out of bounds like some quarterbacks do,
he could run the ball, guys.
He runs the ball. I don't care if you pick up an extra 2 or 3 yards. I mean, it's a big difference between 2nd and 7 and 2nd and 10.
Oh, yes, there is. That's a big difference, trust me. And also, like Jamal Charles tore up this Eagles defense, which is still questionable. Remember, they were one of the worst in the league last year, and they improved a bit, but how can you improve a bit from being really bad, you know? The Chiefs won. Me and Darius got this pick correct. I mean, Darius, are me and you, are we on the bandwagon of the Chiefs? Do you think so?
I would never be on the bandwagon, never.
Coming from knowing that we're in the same division, listen, that Chiefs defense, I like it, but
you know what? They're for real. You know, I'm a fan of great football. I'm a fan of great defensive football. Hats off to the Chiefs.
Hats off to Andy Reid, first of all. Great head coach. Can't believe the Eagles let him go.
You know what? I'm shocked the Eagles actually gave him a standing ovation, round of applause. I'm shocked they actually show class, you know.
As a very unclassy team they are, to be honest. Fan base they are.
Fan base.
Yeah. Man, oh man, those teams. But, yeah, we got that right. Now let's talk about this last discussion before we wrap things up. We're kind of getting a little lengthy here. Sorry, guys. But we're going to go over our top 10 QBs. And DT, who you want to go first? You want me to go first? Or
you go ahead and tell me, your top 10 list.
All right, top 10 list of quarterbacks that I think they're going to be high, and I think this is going to be my top 10 list. What we're going to do, we're going to do a top 10 list of every position in the NFL, and we're going to do about 5 more positions this next coming week, and we're going to do one until we finish all the way through. We may do punters and kickers, maybe for shits and giggles, maybe. But we're gonna do one, and then we're gonna do another list, another top 10 of the same positions at week 17, and we're gonna compare them to our previous list and see how much of a change. And were we really that crazy? And you guys maybe call me crazy because my list is a little bit more controversial than DT's list. I actually have a wild card QB.
I was going to say something crazy. Crazy alert.
I had my wild card, which is like the 11th quarterback, and they almost made my top 10 list. My 11th is Alex Smith and Carson Palmer were my wild cards. And number 10, Sam Bradford. I think he's going to have a good year this year. Even with the lack of playmakers, he's actually, I think, third in the league in passing, which is surprisingly enough of who he has out there. Granted, he has Jared Cook and Tavon Austin, but really doesn't have a big receiver. I don't remember the last time Rams had a big receiver since Torrey Holt. But number 9, I have Michael Vick. I think he's going to have a good year this year with that offense. But after seeing that Chiefs game...
My friend, you are crazy.
But after seeing that Chiefs game, I think I may switch him out with Carson Palmer. But then I'm going to go with number 8 is Matthew Stafford. He throws for 5,000 yards. He could put up the numbers that he does. I'm going with him. Number 7, I got Colin Kaepernick. He can throw the ball, which you saw against the Green Bay Packers defense, and he can run the ball. Number 6, I got his divisional rival in there. The guy who made him shave his eyebrow, Russell Wilson, is at number 6. Number 5, I have Matt Ryan. I like him. I think he's a Peyton Manning, which is he's good in the regular season. Come postseason,
My friend, you are crazy. He's no Peyton Manning.
I'm saying that he's a Peyton Manning. He's good in the regular season. Put him in the postseason. He can't do nothing for you. Number 4, I got Tom Brady. Number 3, I got Drew Brees. Number 2 and number 1 are literally still number 1 to me. I just had to make a list because they asked for 1 and 2. Aaron Rodgers and Peyton Manning are tied for number 1 for me. At the end of the season, they're both going to be in MVP race. That's my list.
You know what? I have a top 10 just because I was told to make a top 10. You know what? The only top list I believe in the top 7s. You know what? But I'm just gonna.
Like, to be honest, really, I didn't like. It was hard to make a top 10 list of quarterbacks because I was like, man, I'm just doing 5 to be honest.
You know what? The top 5 are the only ones that matter. Those are the guys that are going. Those are the guys that are going to be in the Super Bowl this year. But since we have to do a top 10, I'm gonna go with Russell Wilson, number 10, Tony Romo, number 9, number 8, Big Ben, number 7, Matt Ryan, Flacco, number 6. That's right, sir. You are elite. Number 5, Eli Manning. Eli Manning, all he does is win. You know, if it came down to one last drive, minute 40 left to go, no timeouts. I mean, I'm going to take Eli Manning. Eli Manning, hey, fourth quarter kid. Drew Brees, he's going to put up big numbers against any defense. Tom Brady, it doesn't matter who he has out there. He's going to make do with it, and he's going to win games. Peyton Manning.
He's poised for a big year, man, dude. I'm just saying, it's insane what he's doing right now. I mean, granted, he did not have the playmakers that he did at the Colts. I mean, yeah, he had Reggie Wayne and Marvin Harrison, but these playmakers here that they have at Denver, I like Eric Decker. I love Thomas. I love Julius Thomas, and I love Wes Walker a lot. I think they improved Grassley over what they had over the Colts. And plus, guess what? The Broncos' O-line is 10 times better than any O-line Peyton Manning has ever had.
Well, I wouldn't say 10 times better, but these guys are good. Ryan Clady just went down. Big hit. But you know what? Peyton Manning, 37 years old, still doing it better than most of these guys. 30, 31, still doing it better than 30 other quarterbacks in the league. Aaron Rodgers, I believe he's the best there is. He's going to be the best there is for years to come. The guy can run. He can run. He can outrun some defenders, most defenders. I've seen him outrun linebackers. The guy's very athletic. He can make every throw there is on the field. You can ask any defensive back that's played against him, they'll tell you that. Doesn't turn the ball over very much. The guy has an arm, has a cannon for him. He can do it all. Aaron Rodgers, best
perfect quarterback. He's a perfect quarterback, to be honest.
And I don't think anybody can argue with me. He's a perfect quarterback. And it's the one quarterback that if I was a defender, I would not want to face.
To be honest, if my hopes and dreams ever to become a receiver, it don't matter if I have the worst hands. Guess what? Aaron Rodgers' ball looks so pretty.
Beautiful.
I mean, to be honest, like, you can never play football and you could just compare throws to whatever. I mean, like, Aaron Rodgers, when he just releases that ball, it is majestic, to be honest. And it's the perfect spiral. It's the perfect motion. It's so accurate. It's unbelievable, to be honest.
No matter how good your defense is, Drew Brees, he'll put up big numbers. Chances are he'll throw an interception here and there. He'll probably throw for one touchdown. Aaron Rodgers, this guy will light up any defense. I don't care who you are. He will light you up.
AKA, ask the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Any given Sunday, you can't get torched for 5 touchdowns against this guy because he will fit the ball in anywhere.
The best mentor he ever had was Brett Favre. Brett Favre didn't teach him anything. The only thing Brett Favre didn't teach him anything verbally is not to throw interceptions. And I think Aaron Rodgers learned a lot from Brett Favre. Even though I hate the cliche of, he has an older quarterback and the quarterback's going to teach him this. That's complete bullshit, guys. Why would any starter help out a second stringer, the guy fighting him for the starting spot, and to get him fired in business terms and make him lose money and make the other guy get paid more and start him over? Brett Favre never liked that about, he never taught Aaron Rodgers anything. And he came out and said, I never taught Aaron Rodgers anything. We just learned the playbook together and all that. That's about it.
Some quarterbacks, they have no problem mentoring. But, for the most part, it's a young guy's job to learn and make it in this league. You got to earn your stripes just like the guy ahead of you did.
Yeah, Brett Favre didn't learn from anybody before him. Pretty sure not. Tom Brady, to be honest, Drew Bledsoe was that guy. He taught him a lot, to be honest. And guess what happened, Drew Bledsoe? We don't know who you are anymore, to be honest.
Tom Brady won a Super Bowl. He was going regardless.
Well, that's our list. We're going to do running backs next, and we're going to do a top 10 list of running backs. You may have a surprise here and there from us, but I'm pretty sure our list is going to be pretty much the same. But that's it for this late night edition of this late night Friday, early morning Saturday podcast. And we're going to be back to you on Monday talking about this week's games. Who won in this? Who is the leaderboards there? Hopefully David is going to join us there to talk about this. And we may have a new segment coming in that day. Maybe it's going to be, you're crazy, tú es muy loco, or who knows what it's going to be, guys. But this is real football talk. And I'm G.
I'm DT.
And we will see you come Monday. Man.
Go Broncos.
Oh, yeah, of course. We got to hear that. What's up, Raiders? Chim, man?